And then the Korean War came up, and I got invited to go again. And so I went to, that's when I went to the Key, right? Then I went to the Key. And they called me up, as I said, they called me up then to be a transportation officer in Seattle. And I said I didn't want to go. And then they said, go to the Key.
And you had a direct commission.
Yeah, it was a direct commission. I'm peculiar in that I never went to officer candidate school. And I'm not a graduate of the Naval Academy. You heard somebody say that, I think, at the meeting the other night, that I'm a Mustang. And I never considered it as a Mustang because I thought a Mustang had to come first class, warrant officer, and then lieutenant. But anyway, I served in Korea during the Big War with the 7th Fleet. Big War in Korea. And when I came back home, I applied for a regular Navy commission. And they said, no, we don't want you. So I said, okay with me. So I stayed in the reserve, but I got out and I went back to work for Eastern Airlines.
It wasn't.
But they called me back in, and that was the time I went to Korea. And I'd have to look at a sheet of where I was and what I was doing, because I don't remember. It's a long time ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I'm sorry. Anyway, this time they sent me to language school, and they were, but before that I was on a fleet oil, and I went to Dam Neck. From Dam Neck, I went to Washington to see where they were going to send me next. And they said, if you don't get out of here, we're going to send you to Vietnam. I said, goodbye. And I left. And the next day, I got orders to Vietnam as commander of the 2nd Coastal Zone. Well, I was in a couple of destroyers, the Willard Keith and John W. Weeks, the famous Liddy Weeks, which incidentally, when I had command of an LSD, we sank it. It was a target ship, and they decommissioned it, and we went a whole squadron of amphibious ships went out and went around in circles around it, and it's anchored out there off the Virginia coast. And since I had been on the ship, I knew how weak the hull was. The hull was probably that thick. That's why they call it the Liddy Weeks. Anyway, I said, drop the guns down and walk them out to the waterline and shoot the waterline. Everybody else is shooting at the top and knocking the stacks off and hitting the bridge and all that. Anyway, we put holes all the way down the side of the ship, and it went down perfectly smooth, just like that. It was really a very thrilling thing. Anyway, we went to the unions pretty frequently. I was executive officer in the John W. Weeks. And then when I came back from, I'll get it out in a minute, Vietnam, I was given command of the USS San Marcos, which is an LSD. The LSD 25 for information. Then I went to Guantanamo after, that was after
Vietnam.
Yeah. I went to Guantanamo when
Well, after your command.
I was the operations officer for the Fleet Training Group. And I'll tell you an interesting story there. We had a submarine that we used for training. And Subliant told us, we're going to take the submarine away from you because you're not getting enough time on it. I said, the man leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning, doesn't come back till 5 o'clock in the evening. What do you mean he's not getting enough time? He says, you're not getting enough time. I don't know what they expected him to do. Anyway, I called up Jacksonville and asked him, you got a patrol squadron up there. How'd you like to work a submarine? And he said, oh, that's a great idea. Where is it? I said, so Guantanamo. I said, how long take it to get it? 2 hours. We'll be there in 2 hours. I said, all right, you got him from 5 o'clock in the afternoon until whenever you get through, and then he'd come in. So this was going along great for a couple of months there, and all of a sudden the Cubans decided that they were going to shoot down our plane or do something to it. So they launched a MiG, and the minute they launched the MiG, we launched an F-8, and the MiG decided he'd best go home, and he did. And the next morning, the admiral got the report. The admiral at the base got the report that our patrol plane was being attacked by MiG, and he got this strange look on his face. What patrol plane? They said, well, Fleet Training Group has a patrol plane come down here and work over the submarine. Who authorized that? And needless to say, I authorized it. And I didn't see anything wrong with it myself. I thought we were doing something good. So I was immediately taken off of the job of operations officer and became the gunnery officer. And I became the ASW officer. And I said, yes. When I was in Cashew 6, I was flying from Alameda to San Diego one day. And we got down somewhere around Los Angeles. I'm sitting in the back seat, so I don't know what's going on. Turn my head around. So anyway, he says, we're losing power. The pilot says, we're losing power, and I want y'all to abandon the plane. Well, the radioman took off his headset, put on his seat, jumped out the door, dropped the door, and went on out. I went down and I looked out the door, and I said, went back and I plugged in my headset. I said, sir, are you going to try to land it? He said, yeah, he was going to try to land it at, anyway, it was an airport somewhere around Los Angeles. And I said, can I go down with you? He said, yes. So we went down, perfectly fine, landed, nothing abnormal. The poor guy jumped out up around San Bernardino or someplace. He had his parachute in his arms, all in there. I had another situation when I was at Norfolk. We were going out to work over a submarine. We just got airborne, and all of a sudden the pilot says, "I got to go back. We got to go back." You know, warning us. I'm going to try to make it back. And I looked around. Black smoke pouring out, or white smoke it was pouring out. What the heck's going on? And he landed the plane, again, no problems. He landed all right. He jumped out of the cockpit and ran off the wingtip. And I don't know whether you know what a TBM is. All right, it's an Avenger torpedo plane. But it's way up in the air. It's higher than that door sill. The wing is. And he ran off that wing and never stopped running. But I got out the back door and went on about my business. We were in Lebanon when they were fighting over there. Actually, when I went to Takei, everybody said, it's building 17. And it doesn't move. It doesn't go anywhere. Something happened the day I got on board, because it took off. And we went to Europe, and we were in, I think we were in Spain, and we got the report to get going and get over to Lebanon. And so we did, and we stopped at Malta, and I went and saw I was the intelligence officer, and went and saw the British intelligence man. He told me that they had, I think he said 13 Vampire airplanes. And we were supposed to have air cover, but the plane, the carrier that gives the air cover was up in someplace in Greece. And he had to get underway, get all his people back, get underway, and come down. And he didn't get there. So we went in, and in case you're interested, politics work into the game every now and then. We landed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Can you imagine why we landed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? So we would make the morning news in Washington. Anyway, Yeah, I mean, if you're in the amphibious force, you know you always make your approach at dawn when everybody's asleep, hopefully. But anyway, we went in and tied up. And we had the admiral on board, sink as never. And I said I was intelligence officer. I also took pictures of everybody that came on board. So we had, let me get your picture here. Beautiful thing. And we cut them up and sew them up about so big and send them off to NIS, Naval Investigative Service, or whatever they were. And we were tied up at the pier, and the admiral has this guy. I call him old baggy pants because he had the thing that pulled up between his legs, And the admiral stands there and looks at him, and he's talking to him out on the deck, and he waves his hand out over the ocean like that. I couldn't tell what he was saying because I was way up top, shooting. And old baggy pants got together and got this fellow that was with him, and they turned around and left. And I found out later that the admiral told him, he says, you see those destroyers out there? Unless you take down these barricades and have them down in the next 2 hours, we're going to open fire. I don't know whether he was or not, but that's what he said. Oh, that's the information that I got. And that guy's, he's smiling and happy and carrying on, Got stern looking away he went. I was an air controller as well, and I controlled the aircraft coming out of Donna, I think it is, in Turkey. They'd come down and report in to me, and I'd take them, and they'd go down in the back valley and go up the valley. I don't know what they were looking for. Wasn't my business. All I had to do is make sure he came up every now and then and said, here I am, and go back down behind the mountains. And that would never happen. Nothing ever happened there that was untoward. We didn't lose any airplanes. And incidentally, those 13 vampires never flew. They couldn't fly. They were inoperative. But we didn't know that when we went in. When I was in Vietnam, everything was very quiet. I was in what they call the Peace Corps, 2nd Coastal Zone. In one, the Marines were hot and going, and 3 was down in the Delta, and that was going. But we didn't ever have anything happen. So what we did is try to make things happen. And we had a patrol going up and down to make sure that the guys didn't come in, the con didn't come in. And one night I got the report that we've got to set up a blockade here. So I said, okay, let's do. We'll call it Stopgap. And that's an innocent name. We're going to stop a gap. And so we had our patrol boats up there and the junks up there running back and forth. And I happened to be on one of the patrol boats, PCFs, and we went up there, and all of a sudden we hear this boom, 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 a little one-liner going across the bay. I think it was some poor fisherman myself, but anyway, we sent the speedboats that we had, and tried to intercept him, and he went boom, 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 up into a little cove there, and this guy's boat went up there, and needless to say, he ran aground. Because that little boat didn't draw that much water. But anyway, they cut out on us. A whole bunch of them. I don't know where they came from, but they were shooting like crazy. Anyway, they both got away, and nobody got hit, nobody got hurt. And I called in Jolly Green John, I don't know what his name was an airplane with Gatling guns out of the side. And he shot that place up, and then I called in, I think it was Des Moines, or cruiser, some cruiser, and he poured it in on that place. And by George, I know nobody can survive all that. Next morning, we went ashore there. Not a blood spot anywhere, not a bit of dead bodies, nothing. Now tell me what happened. I don't know. Anyway, we got it. Then I had another operation. That stopgap thing. I'm sending the reports all the time, as to what we're doing. And somebody in Washington read it, and they said, "Stopgap, that's a top secret operation." And I had picked a name that was something else, somewhere else. And they got all excited about that. Where did you get the name from? How come you came up with that name? I said, "Because we're stopping the gap." But if you work with the government, you know that they're a bunch of crazies. I said, they sent me up to, what's the matter? They sent me up to Washington to work on an amphibious study group. And I was up there with a colonel, and we were going on pretty good. And I say, "Hey, once you cross the Beltway going up to Washington, people go crazy. Something happens to the brain. I don't know what happens to them. But, oh, yeah. Well, I was on the fleet oil, and we were at Norfolk. We went out to fuel some destroyers just for practice. And we got out in the ocean, and there's destroyers coming up alongside. Got a phone call with a radiogram. Proceed south at maximum speed. That's all it said. It didn't say what you're doing. Just proceed south at maximum speed. Well, we head south. Maximum speed, 16 knots, I think. Maybe 18. It wasn't very fast. And then we got another message. The Santa Maria has been pirated by Enrique Galveo. Well, that ship will do 22 knots. I said, "What are we going? This is crazy to send us all the way down here." But we had the fuel. We were sitting on a tank of fuel. And we got down there, and the destroyers were hungry, and they wanted some gas. So they told them, "Come alongside, give them gas." Washington tells us, "Don't fuel those ships, send them into port." So we took our hoses back and went on. About that time, the airplanes we had the guy boxed in. He couldn't go anywhere. So he came down to, I forgot the name of the port. Anyway, it was in Brazil. Recife. And we go in, and none of us have got any uniforms because we just came out to do overnight fueling. And so we couldn't go on liberty. But in he comes, all the flags flying, all his banners going. Looks like a cruise ship coming in. And Galveo got off there and turned the ship back over to the people. Nobody got, maybe somebody got bullet wounds or something, but nobody got killed. And he turned the ship back over and it went on back up to Tampa.
But you crossed the equator doing that.
What's that?
You crossed the equator doing that.
Oh yeah, that didn't count though, because I had gotten then on the Bullet Keith we went across the equator there, and that was a real thing. We had to crawl the tunnel and all that kind of stuff, dunk in the water. Anyway, nobody on board had their documents. I mean, you don't go carrying but you cross the equator documents around everywhere. So the executive officer, his name was Scapini, says, "Well, we're going to have a ceremony. We're going across the equator. We're going to have a ceremony." I said, "Scap," I said, they don't have any. Nobody has any documents with them. He says, "Well, if you say you've done it, we'll give you credit for it, but you got to prove it when we get back to Norfolk." And so we did. We went across the equator, and it was a pretty good ceremony.